The most dangerous game in relationships. What if everything you thought about relationships was wrong? What if the real game wasn't about love, trust, or loyalty, but about control? A silent war where emotions are weapons, and the moment you let yours dictate your actions, you lose. Think about it. How many times have you chased someone only to push them further away? How often have you reacted emotionally and regretted it the second after? That's because in this game, the one who cares less holds the power. But here's the real secret. The strongest people don't care less. They control how they respond. They master strategic detachment. They understand that the moment they stop being predictable, the moment they become unshakable, they become untouchable. And that is how you win. The power of emotional control. And here's the worst part. This is already happening to you. Every interaction, every relationship, every conversation, there's a power dynamic at play. And the one who controls their emotions is always the one who holds the upper hand. Most people don't even realize they're playing. They react, they chase, they expose their weaknesses without knowing it. And that's exactly why they lose. Because in this game, the person who is easily triggered, easily manipulated and emotionally predictable will always be the one controlled. So, if you've ever felt like you were being pushed, pulled, or played, understand this. It's not random. It's by design. But the good news? You can flip the script. The moment you stop reacting the way they expect you to, you take back control. Now let's break it down, starting with the first and most critical truth. Emotions are the weapons used against you. Emotions are weapons used against you. Emotions are a double-edged sword. They can be a source of connection, passion, and purpose. But in the wrong hands, they become a tool for manipulation and control. In every relationship, romantic, social, even professional, there's always a power dynamic at play. And the one who holds the most power isn't necessarily the wealthiest, the most intelligent, or even the most attractive. It's the one who remains unshaken. Because the moment you let someone control how you feel, they control you. Think about it. How often have you been in a situation where your emotions dictated your actions? When someone ignored your message, and suddenly your entire mood shifted? When a passive-aggressive comment made you question yourself? When jealousy, fear, or anger pushed you into saying or doing something you later regretted? It wasn't logic that made you react. It wasn't rational thinking that made you spiral. It was emotion. And here's the harsh truth. The more emotionally reactive you are, the easier you are to manipulate. This is why people who understand power don't try to convince you with logic. They don't fight with facts. Instead, they trigger you. They push you into reacting, because the moment you react, you've already lost. They make you jealous to keep you chasing. They make you insecure to keep you seeking validation. They make you angry to make you look irrational. And once you react emotionally, you hand over control. That's why toxic people always test your emotions. They push your buttons. They provoke you. Because if you're easy to trigger, they know they can lead you anywhere they want. So how do you stop this? How do you protect yourself from being controlled? The answer isn't to suppress your emotions, it's to master them. Step 1. Stop reacting. The next time someone tries to trigger you, pause. Don't respond immediately. Let them sit in the silence. Because the moment you show them that you're not easily moved, the moment you refuse to be predictable, you take back control. Because in this game, the one who controls their emotions controls everything. And once you master this, you stop playing by their rules. You make them play by yours. Why the strongest people aren't controlled by emotions. Most people lose battles before they even begin, not because they lack intelligence, strength, or strategy, but because they let emotions dictate their actions. Weak people react. They explode in anger when provoked. They let fear stop them from taking action. They chase when they feel anxious about losing someone. But the strongest people, they are untouchable, not because they don't feel emotions, but because they never let emotions control them. They understand a simple truth. Your emotions are not the problem. Your inability to separate emotions from action is. This is the reason some people always seem to have control in any situation. They don't rush decisions out of panic. They don't respond to insults with blind rage. They don't chase after people who pull away. Instead, they observe, they calculate, and then they act with precision. Emotion is temporary, but consequences are permanent. Think about the times in your life when emotions led you into a bad decision. How many times have you said something in anger that you couldn't take back? How often have you let jealousy or insecurity push you into a situation that made things worse? This is why the strongest people remain unshaken. They recognize that emotions come and go, but actions leave permanent consequences. So instead of reacting, they pause, they wait. They give themselves time to think, because they know that self-control is the ultimate weapon. Your reaction matters more than the insult. People will test you. They will try to provoke you. They will challenge you just to see how much control you have over yourself. But here's the reality. The insult doesn't matter. Your reaction does. If someone calls you weak, insults your intelligence, or questions your worth, and you immediately explode in anger, who really wins? Not you. Because now they own your emotions. They've found your weakness. And if they can control your emotions, they can control you. But if you remain indifferent, if you refuse to give them the reaction they want, they lose all power. This is why the most powerful people don't need to prove anything. They don't need to yell, threaten, or explain themselves. They let their control speak for itself. So the next time someone tries to trigger you, remember this. If you don't control your emotions, someone else will. And when that happens, you're not just losing control, you're being played. Strategic detachment, the ultimate tool for control. Most people think power comes from strength, wealth, or intelligence. But in reality, the greatest power comes from emotional detachment, from the ability to remain unreadable in a world that thrives on emotional reactions. This is strategic detachment, the art of controlling how others perceive you by mastering how you express emotion. Detachment doesn't mean you don't feel, it means you don't show. Let's be clear. Strategic detachment is not about suppressing emotions. It's about controlling how, when, and if you express them. Because the moment you wear your emotions on your sleeve, you become predictable. And when you're predictable, you become easy to control. Think about it. When someone can read your frustration, they know how to push you further. When they see your insecurity, they know how to exploit it. When they sense your desperation, they know how to make you chase. The strongest people in relationships, the ones who dictate the pace, who command respect, who are never manipulated, are not the ones who feel less. They are the ones who reveal less. Because when people can't read you, they can't control you. The power of an unreadable face. There's a reason why the most powerful negotiators, leaders, and strategists never show their true emotions in critical moments. Julius Caesar, Marcus Aurelius, Napoleon, these men understood the power of appearing unmoved. A neutral face in the middle of conflict makes people anxious. A silent pause after an insult makes the other person uncomfortable. A calm response when someone expects you to explode makes them question their own power. This is psychological warfare at its finest. Because when you remain unreadable, people start doubting themselves. They wonder what you're thinking. They become uncomfortable in your presence. And that's when you take control. How to develop strategic detachment. 1. Stop reacting immediately. The more time you take to respond, the more power you gain. 2. Master your facial expressions. Keep your face neutral, even when you feel emotional. 3. Use silence as a weapon. When someone expects a reaction, give them nothing, speak less, observe more. The more others talk, the more they reveal. The less you reveal, the more mysterious and powerful you become. Once you master this skill, you will notice something incredible. People will respect you more. They will fear losing your presence. They will chase your approval instead of the other way around. Because in this game, the one who controls how they are perceived controls everything. The no reaction rule, the ultimate power move. Power isn't always about what you say or do. Sometimes it's about what you refuse to do. The most dominant people in any relationship, whether romantic, social, or professional, aren't the ones who talk the loudest. They aren't the ones who argue, over-explain, or chase validation. They are the ones who master the art of silence. This is the no reaction rule, one of the most powerful psychological tactics for maintaining control in any situation. Why silence is the ultimate weapon. When someone tries to provoke you, they expect a reaction. They expect you to defend yourself, to explain, to get angry, to break your frame. But when you give them nothing, no emotion, no frustration, no response, they are left with uncertainty. And uncertainty is the greatest form of psychological discomfort, because when someone can't predict your next move, they lose control over you. Power belongs to the one who controls their reactions. Think about this. When someone insults you and you react in anger, they win, because now they know exactly how to trigger you. When someone pulls away and you chase, they win, because now they see that you fear losing them. When someone ignores you and you beg for attention, they win, because now they have complete control over your emotional state. The strongest people refuse to play this game. They don't justify themselves. They don't explain their actions. They don't react just because someone wants them to, because they understand one thing. The moment you react, you become predictable, and the moment you're predictable, you become weak. The psychological impact of not reacting. People hate silence. It makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to reflect on their own actions. When you stay quiet in the face of provocation, you force them to fill the space. They start questioning themselves. They wonder if they went too far. They start second-guessing their own power. This is why the most dominant people use silence as a tool of control. If someone tries to make you jealous, don't react. If someone insults you, let them talk, then stare at them blankly. If someone ignores you, match their energy and give them nothing. How to apply the no reaction rule. 1. Pause before responding. When someone tries to trigger you, take a moment. Don't react immediately. 2. Use silence to create discomfort. Instead of explaining or defending yourself, say nothing. Let them feel the tension. 3. Master the art of the blank face. Keep your facial expressions neutral. Never let someone see that they got to you. Become an observer, not a reactor. The less you respond emotionally, the more power you hold. The moment you stop being reactive, everything changes. People start respecting you more. They stop testing your boundaries. They begin chasing your validation instead of the other way around. Because in the end, power belongs to the one who controls their reactions. And when you stop reacting, you stop playing their game and make them play yours. The no reaction rule, the ultimate power move. Power isn't always about what you say or do. Sometimes it's about what you refuse to do. The most dominant people in any relationship, whether romantic, social, or professional, aren't the ones who talk the loudest. They aren't the ones who argue, over-explain, or chase validation. They are the ones who master the art of silence. This is the no-reaction rule, one of the most powerful psychological tactics for maintaining control in any situation. Why silence is the ultimate weapon. When someone tries to provoke you, they expect a reaction. They expect you to defend yourself, to explain, to get angry, to break your frame. But when you give them nothing, no emotion, no frustration, no response, they are left with uncertainty. And uncertainty is the greatest form of psychological discomfort, because when someone can't predict your next move, they lose control over you. Power belongs to the one who controls their reactions. Think about this. When someone insults you and you react in anger, they win, because now they know exactly how to trigger you. When someone pulls away and you chase, they win, because now they see that you fear losing them. When someone ignores you and you beg for attention, they win, because now they have complete control over your emotional state. The strongest people refuse to play this game. They don't justify themselves. They don't explain their actions. They don't react just because someone wants them to, because they understand one thing. The moment you react, you become predictable. And the moment you're predictable, you become weak. The psychological impact of not reacting. People hate silence. It makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to reflect on their own actions. When you stay quiet in the face of provocation, you force them to fill the space. They start questioning themselves. They wonder if they went too far. They start second-guessing their own power. This is why the most dominant people use silence as a tool of control. If someone tries to make you jealous, don't react. If someone insults you, let them talk, then stare at them blankly. If someone ignores you, match their energy and give them nothing. How to apply the no-reaction rule. 1. Pause before responding. When someone tries to trigger you, take a moment. Don't react immediately. 2. Use silence to create discomfort. Instead of explaining or defending yourself, say nothing. Let them feel the tension. 3. Master the art of the blank face. Keep your facial expressions neutral. Never let someone see that they got to you. Become an observer, not a reactor. The less you respond emotionally, the more power you hold. The moment you stop being reactive, everything changes. People start respecting you more. They stop testing your boundaries. They begin chasing your validation instead of the other way around. Because in the end, power belongs to the one who controls their reactions. And when you stop reacting, you stop playing their game and make them play yours. The psychology of distance, making them chase you. People want what they can't have, and they take for granted what's always there. This is the foundation of human psychology. We chase what we can't fully have. And in relationships, the moment you become too available, too predictable, or too eager, you lose value. The strongest people understand this. They know that distance creates desire. Scarcity creates value. Think about it. Luxury brands don't beg customers to buy. The most exclusive clubs don't let just anyone in. The harder something is to obtain, the more people want it. The same principle applies to attraction. When you constantly prove your worth, over-explain yourself, or seek validation, you kill the mystery, and with it, their desire to chase. But when you step back, when you make them feel your absence, something shifts. Neediness repels, indifference attracts. Most people make the mistake of giving too much too soon, thinking it will make them more desirable. But in reality, it does the opposite, because nothing is more unattractive than someone who is too easy to get. The moment you show that you don't need them, that you are perfectly fine with or without them, you become the prize. Now, instead of you proving your worth to them, they start proving their worth to you. How to use distance to make them chase. 1. Give less than expected. If they're used to instant replies, delay them. If they expect constant attention, pull back. Let them feel the absence. 2. Be unpredictable. Keep them guessing. Sometimes engage, sometimes disappear. Uncertainty creates obsession. 3. Mirror their effort, then withdraw. If they invest less, match it. Then, slowly, give even less. This forces them to close the gap. 4. Let silence work in your favor. If they pull away, don't react. Give them space to miss you. 5. Stay focused on yourself. The more you invest in your own life, the more they feel the need to earn a place in it. When you withdraw, they step forward. Here's the truth. People don't value what is handed to them. They value what they must earn. So when you stop proving yourself, they start proving themselves to you. When you pull away, they come chasing. And if they don't, then they were never truly invested to begin with. Either way, you win. Because the moment you stop needing them is the moment they start needing you. Mastering the game. How to develop strategic detachment. Power isn't just about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself. Most people operate on emotion. They react instantly, say too much, and let their feelings dictate their actions. But the ones who truly hold power, they master strategic detachment, the ability to remain unaffected, unreadable, and in complete control. This isn't about being emotionless. It's about ensuring that no one else can use your emotions against you. Step 1. Train yourself to respond slowly. Weak people react immediately. They get triggered, they lash out, they over-explain, and in doing so, they expose their weaknesses. But the strongest people? They pause. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, they give themselves space to process. This allows them to think logically instead of emotionally. Before you respond to anything, an insult, a provocation, an emotional situation, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? What does the other person want me to do? How can I respond in a way that gives me control? If you master this one habit alone, you will immediately shift the power dynamic in any interaction. Step 2. Adopt a Stoic mindset. Emotional detachment isn't just a tactic, it's a way of life. The ancient Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The world will test you, people will try to trigger you, situations will attempt to break your composure. But here's the truth, nothing can affect you unless you let it." To build this mindset, detach from outcomes. Stop obsessing over what you can't control. Focus only on your actions. Accept discomfort. The ability to endure emotional discomfort without reacting makes you unstoppable. Reframe negativity. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can I use this to make myself stronger?" Step 3. Become emotionally unreadable. Powerful people don't reveal their thoughts easily. They keep others guessing. To develop this skill, control your facial expressions. Never let someone see that they got to you. Maintain a neutral, unreadable face. Speak less. The less you say, the more others wonder what you're thinking. Master the art of silence. When in doubt, say nothing. Silence forces people to fill the gap, and often they reveal more than they intend to. Control yourself. Control the game. Most people think power is about controlling others. It's not. Power is about controlling yourself so well that others are forced to adjust to you. Once you master detachment, no one will be able to manipulate your emotions. People will respect you more because you will radiate control. You will stop chasing and start attracting. Because in this game, the one who controls their emotions controls everything. Everything we've covered leads to one simple truth. If you don't control your emotions, someone else will. Most people move through life reacting, being triggered, manipulated and controlled without even realizing it. They give away their power the moment they allow emotions to dictate their actions. But the strongest individuals, they don't play by those rules. They detach strategically, they master their reactions, and because of that, they control the entire game. Control or be controlled. If you react emotionally, you lose leverage. If you chase, you surrender power. If you are easily provoked, you become predictable, and predictability makes you weak. But when you learn to pause instead of react, when you make yourself unreadable instead of transparent, when you understand that power belongs to those who remain unaffected, you stop being a pawn in someone else's game. Instead, you become the one who dictates the terms, because the strongest person in any relationship is never the one who yells the loudest, chases the hardest, or tries to prove themselves. It's the one who is completely in control of themselves and forces others to adjust to them. If you want to stop being manipulated, if you want to dictate the pace of any relationship, if you want to be the one who is always in control, then start applying these principles today, because in the end, the one who controls their emotions controls everything. Enough is enough. No more chasing, no more reacting, no more being played. Today, you change the game. Today, you take back control.